this one is a little deep. We have to agree that this one is deep, but it's important, especially as social media marketers, because us specifically, like Savage Marketing, we prioritize community management so much. And you know that because engaging with the people is way more powerful than just posting and ghosting. It's like a part of our DNA.
Absolutely.
And so the idea of social not becoming social is of interest because we're losing that social aspect, right? We're on social all the time, but we're just consuming content. We're not really keeping up with our friends anymore, keeping up with our families. And that's fine. There's evolution. But I think what's crazy about this story is that are we even, when we do choose to engage, is there even a human on the other side of that?
Very true. I mean, a lot of it has been admitted to be AI, and a lot of companies are reaching to AI to create that entertainment factor versus something that's really going to help start a conversation, which is problematic because that's what social media was supposed to be. And now it just feels like there's a bot on one end and human on the other just absorbing it. So there doesn't have to be any kind of communication or connection.
Yeah. And so, I think what's interesting about our profession is that we're kind of the consumer and the marketer at the same time. Because I'm on social all the time. Like probably too much, right? And so as marketers, when we're working all day, we are on one side, it's our responsibility to be putting the content out there.
Correct.
And being that humanization, if that's even a word, for our clients.
Yeah.
So, but then when we're off of work, then we're consuming, right?
Right. Which feeds into the cycle. But I do think that as marketers, you kind of have to straddle that. You have to be a consumer and a watcher because that's where you come up with ideas and figure out what is reaching people. But I think the wins and losses for that are if you become just purely entertainment, people aren't taking you seriously as a brand. They're not looking at your page to consume your product or your services. They're looking just to consume because you're funny or you're entertaining or you talk on trending news. So I think being in marketing, it's good to straddle that because I love watching a good doom scroll series or something like that. But I also like watching a company who knows how to do both. And then I do get sucked in. I'm like, oh, I do want to buy this product because you're speaking to me on a level that makes me interested and intrigued. So I guess the wins are it's still attainable, but the loss is that so many people just tune in to social for purely entertainment and not to be spoken to or engaged with and vice versa.
Yeah. So let's dive into the notion that social isn't social anymore, especially with the rise of AI, that there's kind of that disconnect, right? So when we think of engagement,
right,
we as marketers, it's twofold, right? There's so much automation out there.
Right.
For FAQs, I mean, even Meta, if you go into Meta or ManyChat, this rise of automation that comment to DM. So like we did with 40 Deuce, where we say comment Ivan and we'll send you a ticket link.
Right.
That is purely AI. And we certainly use it. And I think there's a place for it.
I agree.
I think some of these FAQs and this comment to DM, I think it's genius. And personally, why I think that is because social media is 24/7.
Correct.
We're humans. We can't work 24/7.
But instant gratification. People are getting the answers they want ASAP, and so they don't lose interest. Yeah,
and so I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. I think there's a world where AI and the human element, when we're specifically talking about engaging with people on social media, the social side, right?
Yep.
I think the automations are powerful, and there's a place for it, for that FAQ, quick information. If somebody is in a different time zone or they're trying to get an answer quickly and we're not actively online engaging with them at that moment, we want our response rate to be high.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a place for it there, and I wouldn't change that. But let's talk about just genuine engagement, listening to your community, engaging with them. So our inbound and outbound.
Yep.
Right? You would be shocked how many brands and businesses are automating that too. And that's where I think that disconnect and the problem is.
Well, and I've seen it. I became this person all of a sudden that reads comments, which I never used to be.
They're so funny.
They are.
Oh God.
Sometimes I watch something and I'm like immediately to the comment section and I feel seen because other people. But it's really interesting because if it's something that a product or a business or something that people are asking genuine questions, if they say one of the trigger words, they get an automated response that has absolutely nothing to do with what they're asking, what they're requesting. Mm-hmm. So, if you're trying to buy a product, for example, and you comment, hey, I have a question about so-and-so, they're just going to send you an automatic response, and then you get something in your inbox that does not touch on that. And that automatically can be very off-putting for a lot of people. Like, okay, you're not here to answer my questions. I no longer want to engage with this.
Yeah, and not even just questions too, like to take it another step, it's just genuine commenting.
Yeah.
Response. So much of the response is automated.
It is. And
where someone's like, they'll comment with a heart or they'll say, oh, I love this. It's very short. And there's like a whole bot response from the brand.
Yeah.
It's like, did you really need to? You can just tell right away it's a bot. And
it's very disconnective and it's very inauthentic. And
inauthentic, yes.
I think as much as the social disconnect exists, I think on the other side of that, people are seeking authenticity and connection.
Yeah.
We're so now used to getting pure entertainment and pure just absorbing and not having to put anything back out. But anytime I've commented on a brand or a business and I've gotten a genuine response back, there's a serotonin level that triggers within you.
Yeah, you did say you feel seen, but who's to say that's not a bot? That could be a good bot.
That's a good point.
But you feel good about it, right?
Thanks for...
Isn't that sad?
Thanks for...
You're like, I feel seen and it's a fucking bot.
I was like, oh, this massive brand noticed me, and you're like, bot.
Well, some of them are getting good, right?
I agree.
So I think us as marketers, we kind of have that. I don't know if it's like moral obligation, for lack of a better word.
I would say a moral obligation
to decide, like, should I be actively responding? Because when you're responding, you do have that human element. And you're learning your audience, right?
100%.
Everything is fed through data and it's just spitting out all that information. And you can certainly get that through AI and tools. But there's that humanity side that you just can't replace. And I think as mundane as it may be of a task, I think it's still really important to have a real person in there engaging back.
I think so. I mean, doing our outbound for Sparkplug, the response people give when they feel like there's truly someone behind, they get so stoked. They find it funny. They love when we engage with them. And that's why people make content at the end of the day. Real people make content because they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to connect. I mean, that's why I love making content, is when someone, just one person reaches out and says, this made me laugh. It could be my mom, but that meant the world to me.
My mom... Personally speaking, I'll like spend all this time making a video just for funsies. And then like the first person to like it on TikTok, I have like 12 followers on TikTok. I don't care. Is my mom. I'm like, God damn it. I'm just going to remove her as a follower.
Dude, my mom writes back like we're in a conversation. And she's like, that's so funny. How do you know this? And I'm like, all right, Mom, stop.
You know you can call me, right?
Yeah. But I'm just saying that really proves a point that I would happily make a video for one person to comment and say, hey, this spoke to me, this made me think something. And so as marketers, if we can reach a certain amount of audience where we're like, we're real, we actually are interested in what you're into, and we are behind the screen, even if it takes us a few hours to get back to you as opposed to, I think that is our moral obligation.
Yeah. So I think here kind of the main takeaway with this is social media is changing. There's no doubt about it. We do consume. It's so much easier to scroll. Like that's why views are really important in a lot of ways, because I know people are viewing your content. They're not necessarily liking it or commenting on it. When they do take that step further, it's so much harder to earn a comment on a post now than ever before. So to think when someone has gone that far to leave a comment and then you respond with a fucking bot, it's so bad.
It's irresponsible.
It's
an irresponsible use of social media.
And so I think that is the element of humanity that you just have to do that task. It's one of those tasks where you don't want to do it, but it's so powerful. And honestly, it's easy. Like, just get in there, be a real human, respond to stuff, automate the FAQs.
I agree.
And then, don't be a douche.
Don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy.
YouTube has reported that shorts are making a bigger comeback, which is no surprise because you think about short form content with TikTok and Instagram and everything. But they are kind of saying that the slow burn effect of more views but less watch time has really changed the landscape of YouTube. And just a few stats, I know we all love to hate them, but long form video views have increased 76% year over year, but engagement fell by 45. And I think that really plays into the 3-second to 10-second rule. People don't have the attention span. So then that's why shorts views rose by 127%, but viewers spent 3 times less watching each short, which means brands have more opportunities to be discovered, but you got to be quick. You got to have a hook and you got to keep them because people are just scrolling. And then lastly, 83% of interactions occurred within the first 10 days, which really kind of drives home the importance of early engagement while optimizing content for long form. So you want to bring people in, and then, same with the algorithm on Instagram, you want people to then go and click on your profile. You want them to be watching your other videos. That's how you're going to get following and engagement. So I just find it really interesting that what used to be a platform where people could go watch for hours and hours and hours is now relying so heavily on short form. And then you have to work so hard to get your short form to keep people engaged.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like it's the case with everything because just looking at these stats, when it talks about, views increased, but the engagement fell. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but what that is signaling to me is that YouTube is showing your video to more people. So you're kind of getting those initial views because a view is, I think they have to watch like a second or something of your video or maybe the first 3 seconds. It's nothing, right? But because we have these shorter attention spans, especially on long form, to say that engagement fell 45%, that's saying people are still kind of in a short form video mindset, trying to watch a long form video, and they're bored. And so some of these retention rates, that doesn't surprise me because you're getting in front of more people, but you're not keeping them engaged. And honestly, it's so impossible sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you want to be different, but you're literally, it comes down to like 3 seconds to capture attention.
Yeah.
And I think that has kind of lived in the short form land for a while. Like you have 3 seconds to capture their attention, 7 to 15 seconds, 30-second videos that you can kind of stay punchy and engaging during that time. But long form, that's a deep dive.
It's a deep dive, and I think social media gave me ADHD because I used to be able to watch things. Like, I would get super invested, and now I am 3 seconds. You don't have me. I'm scrolling, and it's bad. I think that short form has kind of messed with that because you feel like it can't be kept immediately, that it's not worth seeing, but that's not the case. But the good news is, I feel like with YouTube, like one of the upsides is, like you said, because short form, this is giving brands more of a platform to be seen, but it's about creating that hook and keeping people. And that really falls heavily on the marketing, the brand, but that is a massive win because I feel like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, YouTube, if you didn't already have a big following or weren't well known and that kind of thing, like it is harder to rope people into an hour-long video as opposed to a 15-second video. But then it's keeping them and pulling them to your main page for monetization and everything like that?
Well, here's what could be happening. It's a lot of things. YouTube is my platform of choice. I YouTube, and there's so much stats, and honestly, it's kind of conflicting in some ways, because there was a while not long ago, I don't know if that's still the case, but YouTube on TV was on the rise. More people were watching YouTube on TV, and that could still very well be the case. It's not like that was an ancient study. It was like 6 months ago.
Archaeology.
Yeah, well, I mean, times change fast, but people were watching YouTube on TV, and when I'm putting something on my 60-inch television, I'm trying to sit and watch.
And invest.
Yeah, and I do watch YouTube like that, like my form of TV. Like I will sit and watch YouTube, and I'm invested into like a 30-minute video.
Yep.
But on the flip side, YouTube has always been kind of an educational channel, right? You go there to get your how-tos, to get your tutorials. And so I think that information is so accessible everywhere, even on TikTok, with social SEO. You can now search these keywords on your Instagrams and your TikToks and get all of that information in a 30-second video.
That's what I was going to say. Is today doing my bronzer, I had an option between 27 seconds or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah. And so I feel like that could be a driving factor behind this.
I agree.
So I think it could come down to the niche, right?
Totally. But what would you recommend, since YouTube is your platform of choice? How do you utilize both? Especially if a client monetizes YouTube, but really, like you said, the times change. You got to change with them. What's a good solution?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff that people could be doing to help with. When I see this, I see shorts. I'm like, okay, shorts is kind of a good discovery tool on YouTube for a lot of ways, and you can link to the long form video. So if that's kind of the next step of engagement, right? If somebody sees the short and there's not enough information, and that could be a tactic. Maybe your short is so punchy, it leaves them wanting more, that they have to click the long form to get the information. I fall for that all the time.
I do too.
Whatever.
I do too.
As far as long form goes, there's some certain optimization tricks you could do with your long form, which is it takes more time, right? You have to add chapters so people can kind of still scan. If you think of your long form video in chapters or segments, it's a bunch of short form videos in one. That's really what the chapters is offering you.
Which I actually like that feature a lot.
Yeah, because then you can and if you label them well and you're an educator or you're doing tutorial stuff, there's your information.
Absolutely.
Even if you Google something like how to fix my car, YouTube or Google, because YouTube's owned by Google, that video will often pop up in search, but it's already bookmarked
to that chapter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's because that person had chapters when they uploaded it.
Which I think is genius.
Yeah, so there's that. And that could also be a reason why engagement fell, because if somebody's just going to the chapter and watching that 3 minutes of your 10-minute video, that's all the engagement. So it's
not all bad then.
Yeah, it's hard to look at it and say, is engagement really down?
Yeah.
Maybe with that, your video duration could matter.
Yeah.
If you're, paying attention to your analytics, if you're like, I'm making 20-minute videos, but people are only watching 5 minutes on average, well, then make your long form videos 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You have 100% retention.
And you're welcome. That'll be $5,000. Bonus question / side question. I'm curious about this. How do you think the fast forward feature on Instagram, and I don't know if TikTok does it yet, but you know how you can fast forward, you can put it in like ×2. Have you used that on the gram? How do you think?
I have not used that on the gram.
Okay, so
do I have to hold something down?
So you push the right hand side, and then all you do is swipe down, and it'll stay on fast forward too. And it is I get a lot of book recommendations,
Okay.
which can go on for 5 minutes. So I fast forward, but I'm genuinely curious. The attention retention is shit now because people can do that. But I'm genuinely curious how that affects maybe something to come back to.
Like retention?
And how it affects like views. Like if we do a long form and people are watching the whole thing, but they're fast forwarding.
No, it's still going to count as your full view and retention. Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of clever. Like I can get the information I need, but I don't have to sit there for 10 minutes.
Just on a little mouse voice.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like, I love it.
You're like, what?
You're like Smart House. I'm just absorbing it all.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, when we talk about this, I can't help but be a little proud of myself because I thought I had a short attention span, but because I still love YouTube, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I'm down to watch a longer video. But if you send me an 8-minute video on TikTok, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not watching it.
Like get fucked. You're rude.
Yeah, my husband does that all the time. I'm like, absolutely not. Give me the cliff notes. I'm not watching it.
No, but I will agree. Like YouTube has some good. You know what I've gone back to? Music videos. I love.
I've always loved music videos. I love music videos.
I'll have like a glass of wine, and I'm like, let's watch the Ella Langley music video, and take me back.
I wanted to be a music video director when I was growing up.
I think we should add that as a side hustle.
Yeah, no, you should see the home videos. They were bomb. I would remake Avril Lavigne videos with my sister.
I'm gonna need to see
I have it.
I'm gonna need to see them.
Yeah, it was a thing. And in school, I would like make music videos with my friends.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I bet now they would hit because they're probably in like analog and they're like really good shots and you could be like.
Well, now I just make social media content. Either in any case, I was meant to make video.
Yes, so you're doing it.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate music videos for sure.
I love it.